our animals.
Our next guest earned her medical degree from some of the most prestigious schools, but then she became interested in why people become sick.
Dr. Rose Kumar left corporate medicine to create her own healthcare system. That's right, and with the emphasis on food as medicine through an organic, plant-based diet. We're so thrilled to have her back. It's Dr. Kumar here on the Yellow Couch. Good to see you again.
Likewise.
I want to tell everybody about your book. It's called Becoming Real, Reclaiming Your Health in Midlife. And last time you were here, we loved the chat that we had with you. It's just so much great information that I think everybody needs to talk about. So welcome back.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is great. So let's talk a little bit about the difference between diet and nourishment, because as Karen said before we got here, we're the only country, you say, that doesn't know what to eat.
Yes.
And I think that actually resonates with people when they think, I don't know how to lose weight, I don't know how to feel good, I don't know what to eat, just tell me and I'll do it.
And there's a million different options out there,
Right.
all this different information coming from everywhere. So how do you know what is accurate?
Well, being a scientist, I really go for the evidence. And evidence really has shown us time and time again that a whole food, plant-based diet is what heals the body. So that's what I go by. And the Mediterranean diet, which has been well studied for a long time, has been shown to be the one that actually does do the job in the body. So that's where we became really interested in food as medicine in medicine, but the traditional system still hasn't adopted that concept that food does heal the body.
Well, that's one of the things that's interesting about you is so you had a practice at a corporate hospital. You were healing people.
Yes.
They didn't need the hospital dollars or the hospital medications, and so you kind of were like an outcast in that
Exactly.
sense. You almost got pushed out because you weren't using it the proper way. You were healing people without drugs.
Exactly. Well, really not even healing people without drugs, but you know, if you can focus on the causes of why people get sick and teach them what the causes are and help them rearrange their lifestyle in order to offset those causes, their body starts to heal, because the body responds to the inner environment, not just physical, but also our own relationship to ourselves.
And inflammation,
exactly,
and bloating, and all the things that we don't even realize are going on and causing problems.
And then obviously exercise plays a part in it too, I would guess.
There's no substitute for exercise. So that really needs to be, the body needs to be oxygenated every day. And so time and time again, studies have shown that exercise in combination with a plant-based diet, Mediterranean diet, really does heal the body.
A lot of people say I work out too much, but honestly, I feel like the body is meant to move. Our body is not meant to be just sedated sitting all the time. So, yeah. So those combination of things, people might ask about protein, and I struggle with that when I'm dealing with trying to go vegetarian. Or how do you get your protein in?
Through plants.
Through plants.
So plants have protein. So what happened in our country is we became a little bit animal protein crazy, bone broth, and you know, eat your meat and all of that. And unfortunately, for most people, animal protein does accelerate cancer. And it also causes chronic kidney disease, because that's a lot of protein for the kidneys to filter. So what really, the evidence really never showed that animal protein is good for us, but because it caused people to lose weight, it became a fad. And the whole food plant-based diet is what really the evidence shows works to reverse disease. And all plants have protein. So for example, for me, I'm mostly vegan, but I can't really be totally vegan because I don't feel good when I'm totally vegan. So I do the occasional organic chicken or wild-caught fish and tofu, fermented soy. But my greatest source of protein is beans, legumes, lentils. That is the area where I really focus on bringing protein into my body. And I exercise a lot too, and I'm able to feel really good. But again, we have to really learn what our body wants, what our body needs. And that's where the focus needs to go, is how do I nourish myself, and what is my body's sweet spot in terms of how much, how little. I find that a lot of my patients don't even pay attention to what they need. And dieting really is, in a sense, an exploitation of the body, because we're trying to manipulate it to look a certain way, but really we get disconnected from feeling function when we do that. So self-nourishment heals.
Self-nourishment, self-care.
Self-care.
You mentioned, you know, you try and figure out why we get sick. Have you kind of narrowed it down to a few sort of bullets of what is making us sick? What is it that often leads us to the doctor's office? Are there basic root causes?
I think the root of the root is really not being conscious of what our needs are. And we we listen to advertising, we listen to a lot of external information, but we're not really filtering it in a healthy way, in a nourishing way for ourselves. So we're getting bombarded, so we just kind of jump on the bandwagon.
Follow the crowd.
Follow the crowd, you know, eat in the...
Work for them, it'll work for me.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that's not the case.
Yeah. Eating from the trough has never worked for humans.
When they say we're a corn-fed society, you know, like we mean it.
That's another segment.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
And you will meet with patients at your center in Pewaukee and consult and design like a program.
Yes.
Correct?
Absolutely. And in midlife, you know, in the book, what I've basically talked about in this book is that food is medicine, and that food, the consciousness that we focus on our food and on how to eat and how to nourish ourselves, how to cook it, and how to have that healing relationship to ourselves is a key element in choosing what we're going to put in our body. And so I've really talked, many layers of information are in this book around how to eat and what foods are good for us and how to actually do that in midlife when our hormones are changing.
Well, and speaking of hormones, we're out of time, but you do work with people on bioidentical hormone therapy so that they're off of any synthetic hormones, but you're still getting a replacement for the changes that your body is going through to balance you.
To balance.
Because that's still important, is to balance our hormones. Hormones are truly a root of how we operate, right?
Yes.
So I think people can get a copy of your book, right? How do they get a copy of it?
They can go to my website at www.omanicenter.com.
You've been there for 17 years. You've helped over 50,000 patients. And people can come see you, make an appointment there as well. Learn about how to heal yourself from the inside out. You use a 4-body system approach, and you can meet with Dr. Kumar there. Thanks so much for joining us again.
Thank you.
Love it
Nice
when
to
you're
meet
here.
you.
Likewise.
Yeah.